right, Aris, so let's do a recap here on what we learned so far today. The very first thing that we were talking about was a sway aspect that we're seeing in your swing. So as you're swinging down, we're typically seeing this left knee kind of pushing, as you can see here, out in front of my toe. And then what that does is it robs you of potential speed in the swing, because what will happen is, as I'm swinging here, I end up moving everything at the same pace, and I can never really get more speed in my hands and in the actual golf club. So I used an analogy with you to help this make sense. And I talked about how your left side of your body representing almost like a speedboat, and with this alignment stick being the rope, the end here would be the golf club as we're holding this, right? So as I'm right here, as I make my coil back, if I can get this left hip out of the way, that frees up this boat again turning, and it sends the skier or the tube flying forward through inertia. So that would be how we would create speed, is when this boat starts to make that turn, it throws the skier or the tuber forward, and in our case here, the golf club, with more speed, and hopefully we'll hit the ball farther in so doing. The next thing that we worked on today was trying to do some drills to help establish that rotation. So I had this alignment stick and I had you put it in your belt loops. And then I had you make some swings where you would turn back and then try to turn through, where you would actually hit that pool noodle behind us here, right when you were striking the ball. And then when you finish, your right hip would go flying forward, and that would be the front hip, and your left hip would be back behind. So you were trying to get a sensation of, if this was like a pool noodle on your hip, not so much having the left hip bump into that, but having the right hip basically be the one that goes right in towards that. So that analogy was super helpful for you. Once you started to do that, we started to see a little bit more club head speed, and you weren't hanging back so much on your right side. So definitely spend some time practicing that. So far as a few other things from our prior lessons, I really like the chair analogy, where you're trying to actually make some swings against a chair, and then also working on the shoulders, trying to make sure we still keep that tilt in there. So spend some time practicing that, and I'm sure it's going to help create more speed with the driver.